Which person you knew turned out to be something completely different from what they seemed for me. It was Gary at the warehouse. Gary was the definition of slow and steady wins the race. He moved like a sloth in molasses, always the last one to clock in, always the last one to finish his section. His biggest accomplishment was probably not dropping a box of light bulbs for 3 straight years. We all had nicknames for him, mostly variations of Snail or Lagging Gary. He'd just smile that goofy, vacant smile and nod, never seeming to notice or care. This went on for about a year. Gary would miss the morning briefing because he was stuck in traffic. He lived 2 blocks away. He'd take 30 minutes for a 5-minute task. Once, he spent an entire shift trying to figure out how to use the barcode scanner, which, to be fair, looked like it predated the internet. We all just shook our heads and figured he was harmless, maybe not the sharpest tool in the shed, but definitely not a threat to anyone's job. Then came the Tuesday the fire alarm went off. Not a drill, a real one. Smoke was pouring from the electrical room. Panic started to set in, people fumbling with doors, shouting. I was trying to direct people towards the nearest exit when I saw Gary. He wasn't fumbling. He wasn't panicked. He was already at the electrical room, calmly kicking the door in with a precision I'd never seen. Inside, a breaker had caught fire. Before anyone could even process what was happening, he'd yanked a fire extinguisher from the wall and smothered the flames with an economy of motion that was frankly terrifying. He then, with the same unnerving calm, began directing the rest of us to safety, using evacuation routes I didn't even know existed. Turns out, Gary wasn't just Lagging Gary. He was Gary the Ghost Henderson, former elite firefighter and rescue specialist, who'd joined the warehouse after a traumatic incident and was living off the grid, so to speak, trying to escape his past. He said the slow act was him deliberately suppressing every instinct he had to avoid drawing attention. He left the warehouse that day, just as quietly as he'd lived there, and I heard he's now running a wilderness survival school up in Montana. We never saw him again, but sometimes, when the air gets thick and smells like ozone, I swear I can still see that quick, precise nod and that empty, deceptive smile.